to Mummy's Garage, guys. Thank you for following me yet again on another video. Today's video, we're continuing work on the Civic truck. We're gonna go ahead and knock out all the body work. I wanna get this entire car in primer today. But with that being said, I really want you guys to go down before this video starts, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment at the end of this video and like it. Let me know what you guys wanna see in the next one, what you liked about this video, and what we're gonna do going forward is hopefully get a lot of feedback from you guys. So without further ado, let's just jump in. All right, so first things first, what I want to do is clear out the bed of the Civic truck, and we're gonna go ahead and throw the rear bumper on this thing, pull it outside so I can make some room in the garage. Well, hopefully the audio won't be too bad. I'm gonna bring my mic, but I would love to get some film of this thing out on the road so you guys can hear it, feel it, and know that it's actually a real car, because sometimes it just feels like it's fake when it's just sitting there in the corner. But anyways, let's go ahead and get some parts put on this thing so we can take it on the highway. Alrighty guys, we're out driving the Civic. It's running pretty good actually. And once we get up here on the straight, we'll do a few pulls, get the beat deck cracking on this little girl. Definitely noisy in here. There's some rattles and some bumps, but half this thing is still not put together, especially on the interior. And the exhaust rattles a little bit. Still needs some work, but hey, we're out here driving it, and I can't complain because this car hasn't been on the road in a while, and it's ripping pretty good. So I'm happy with it. Crazy to see it outside. It hasn't been outside in so long. Feels good to put some sun on it. Also, it'll be really good for that primer to be in the sun too, because I want this primer to harden up and shrink up really well before we paint anything. That way there's no shrinkage going on. I can see outside, I'm hoping you guys can kind of see it on video. The wheel well down in here needs a little bit of love. I saw it before I primed it, but it's kind of hard to play with it when it's a bunch of different shades. So that's gonna need a little bit of attention. And also there's some stuff like right there needs a little bit of work. There's a pinhole here, and these edges will come up a lot nicer once I sand out the primer. And also in here, you know, I want to get all this stuff looking good. This stuff I didn't really play with. It was all messed up. I just kind of wanted to get some primer in it. Like I was saying, I think I'm going to prime this thing again. All this looks really good though. I see in here there's a little bit of flaking paint I missed when I rolled the wheel wells, so we'll have to feather that out. Little stuff like this, you know, this is all the little things that you don't catch until it's in primer for the first round. So a little bit of spot there, but the roof actually came out super good. I'm happy with how all this looks in here. So overall, it's coming along. All right guys, so I went ahead and changed my mind on using this aluminum. I don't really love the way that it was gonna work out in here. Once it was all installed, there's always gonna be this little lip here, and I thought about seam sealing it or fiberglassing over it, but it's just not the right way to do it. So I went ahead and picked up this 1-inch lat steel, and what I'm going to do is just weld this in here to the backside, and that's going to form my lip. I think it's going to be a lot better. It'll be more of a factory style. So this took a little while to get in because it's actually kind of hard to get 1/4 inch thick Lexan. I wanted it to be thick so that way once this thing's installed, it doesn't have these big waves that you see with a lot of Lexans. I want this to kind of look like a real piece of glass. This is 48 inches long, 24 inches high. The 48 is actually like ½ inch too short, or actually it's almost like an inch short. From this edge to that edge is 49 inches, which means I'm gonna have too big of a gap here. It'd be about a finger's width on each side. So what I'm gonna do, instead of having to buy a whole new piece of glass, is I'm actually gonna shape this window a little different here. I'm gonna bring in a piece of metal down in here, and I'm just gonna shape it. And I think it's actually gonna look a little bit better, because right now, this is a little bit squared off, and I think if it's got just a little bit of a round edge there, it'll look a lot better. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with that today. I'm gonna get that knocked out. I'm gonna measure my window exactly where the 48 is, and I'm gonna give myself a 1/4 inch on each side, and that's how I'll know where this piece of metal is gonna start. So also, I hung up this big sheet of plastic because once we get this rear window done, my plan is to really start knocking out the bodywork on this thing. I want to get the fenders fixed, the doors fixed. I want to get these quarter panels where I'm happy, and I want to prime everything. And then from there, we can actually block sand this thing and get it ready for paint. And I figured this will keep that side of the garage clean, keep my gym equipment from getting all dusty and all my tools. Plus, I have the AC going on that side. So it'll be nice to have this wall up in here for the next couple weeks while I really hammer away on this car. All right, I went ahead and cut a piece, as you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna weld this little strip in, then I'll fill this front end with another strip, and I'll weld it all together. All right, so I went ahead and got those pieces welded up, and I also cut and tacked in the lower piece just so it's easier for me to show you guys. So I made this little extension here on both sides. That gives me my 1/4 inch distance in this way, which will make this piece. So imagine this, the back window. This is exactly 48 inches. You slide that up in here, and if you look, I have it centered over on that side about a 1/4 inch, and that gives me 1/4 inch here. I'm gonna follow that all the way up around so the rear window will sit super good. I got this lip welded in. As you can see, I just tack welded that piece of flat steel to the angle that surrounded the window. Now, once this is all done, I'll put a very thin coat of seam sealer all up and around that, and all that'll get primed when I body work that. Super happy with that, but I'm gonna go ahead and knock these pieces out. I might throw you guys on a time lapse so you can actually see a little bit of what's going on, and then we'll keep on rolling. This has been a long time coming, getting this window frame in. It's just been like on my mind since I've started this project. And to actually see it in there, it looks really good. Now, I gotta go in and do a bunch of cleanup, get all this looking good, go on the inside, get all the welds grinded down. All this is gonna get another coat of epoxy. And then I'm gonna seam seal all these little edges before we make some interior panels, but that's way down the road. All right, so I decided I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the body work on this thing. This car needs quite a bit of body work down the sides of it, and the quarter panels need to be touched up. Went ahead and put a little bit of body filler on those spots that you just saw me weld up. So I want to get this back piece cleaned up. I'm going to re-block the quarter panels, fix a few imperfections that you guys just saw, and make it so that these things are officially like ready for primer the last time. So I'm just going to check in with you guys every time I hit a milestone, and hopefully by the end of this video we'll have this car all in primer. And then from there, which I've said a million times, we will finally get the back glass glued in this thing and one step closer to get the paint. But I got a lot of sanding to do, so I'll catch you guys in a second. quick update, all this is completely sanded out now. I'm getting ready to mask it up. My plan is to get all that primer re-primed and count that, consider that to be done. While that's drying over the next few days, I've got the doors off this thing. I'm gonna put those on a stand. I'm gonna start body working the doors, get those things squared away and get those ready for primer along with the fenders, and maybe even throw the bumpers in there and get everything in primer. That way the whole car is primed and I'll feel really good about moving this thing into paint. All right, so we went ahead, got this thing all bagged up and masked up. I went ahead and wiped it down, and it is now ready for some primer. To take you guys over and show you how I'm gonna mix up the primer. All right, so I'm going ahead and using some Nason 2K primer. This is what I got left of the last quart we did. I used almost the whole thing, so I went ahead and got an extra quart. I got the hardener for it over here. This is a 4-to-1 mix. So you can reduce it. I choose not to, but you put 4 parts primer, 1 part hardener. I'm gonna mix it up in this and spray it out of the primer gun. I'm using this DeVelvis primer gun. Thing works great. It's got a 1.8 tip on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff mixed up, set you guys up, and we'll start spraying. Another thing I do want to mention is all this bare metal. You can't put just regular 2K primer over bare metal. It won't last for the long term. And since this is going to be seeing window urethane, and I want it to be watertight and hold the window and everything to be adhered really well, I've sanded all that with 180 really well, and I've cleaned it really well with actually lacquer thinner. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw a couple coats of this self-etch primer on. I'm gonna let this sit for 20 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and throw the 2K primer on. All right, last look at this before we go ahead and prime it. You can see it puts some of that self-etch over any little bare spots, and that rear window frame is coated pretty good, but it's not completely covered. But anyways, this is looking really good. I'm gonna set you guys up on the old tripod. I got the primer in the gun. I got my respirator, got the air hose ready. So let's spray this bad boy. Well guys, super happy with how this came out. Super hard to show how primer looks on camera, but it came out really nice. I just did 2 good coats because I really didn't need more than that. And it laid out really nice. Quarter panels look great. As you guys just saw, finally got the doors all in primer. I went ahead and put a little bit of glaze on a few pinholes that popped up and a few little skips that I missed on that door, but overall those look really good. Now on these fenders, these things are pretty beat up, and yes, I could buy some new ones, but I'm cheap and I want to fix these ones, but I also want to do something cool here. If you know these EGs, they make these fender cutouts where you're supposed to cut this section of the fender off and you bolt in this either fiberglass, carbon fiber, whatever one you buy, and it makes it a big vent so you can see the wheel and tire a lot better. I think I'm gonna make my own with this fender, and if it doesn't work out, I don't really care because this fender is kind of messed up anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some tape and tape something out the way I think I like it, and I'll show you guys when I get there, but I think this is gonna be pretty cool. All right, you can go ahead and see that I just went and welded that little plate in. It's super rough. I plan on welding all this from the back side to the front. I can just do a very skim coat of bodywork on it. Maybe I'll weld both sides, and that'll be really nice. Now, I got to do the top. Look at that. I think that's going to look super cool. Imagine with some nice wide wheels and some nice Nitto tires on there, and this is going to be all bodyworked and painted. I just think it's going to be a cool look. Not everybody loves these, but I've always been a fan of it. And I kind of want this truck to look a little trackish. I like the way they have with the lips on them. And I got the little rear spoiler on it. And I'm going to get some nice wheels and stuff with some nice thick tires. So I think this is going to go with the whole look of it. It's hard to tell now because the car is in different colors and pretty rough condition right now. But I wanted to knock this out before I start doing the bodywork to this fender, because I might as well bodywork that all at the same time. So now that the doors are all done, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on a stand, make that top plate, get this all welded up, and then we'll go ahead and bodywork and prime this fender. Well, there it is. I went ahead and welded this thing all up. Show you guys. Took me a little bit because this is all super thin metal, but I turned my welder down to 22 gauge, and honestly, for a MIG weld, I mean, it's ugly, but it looks pretty good. Once it's ground down, I'll touch up a few pinholes and get this in primer, but check this thing out, man. I think it's just gonna look killer. I'm gonna throw it on the car real quick. Yeah, I just really like the way this looks. I think it's gonna be cool, and I'm happy with how that turned out. So, on to the next thing. Unfortunately for you guys, this is gonna be a wrap for today's video. This video has taken me over a month to make, and it's just been a journey. There's been a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, but I've been able to come out here and tinker on the car. As you can see, it's completely torn apart. But that's always a good thing when you're getting ready for paint. So most of this car is in primer. Really, we just got to knock out the fenders and the bumpers. Eventually, we'll get to that hood. I'll have some plans for that, but I'll show you guys that in the next upcoming video. These fenders we'll knock out in the next video as well. We'll get those in primer, get the bumpers done. Man, I'm so close to getting this car painted, and it feels good. It's been, what, over a year since we started working on this thing. So the fact that we're finally ready for paint feels really good. But once again, guys, thank you very much for tuning back in to Mumley's Garage, for watching a video of me wrenching on this Civic truck. Please hit that subscribe button. We're this close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, and that just feels amazing. From there, we're only gonna grow, and it feels good. So please subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if your uncle can do it better. If he can, let's see it. Hit that like button, and once again, guys, we will catch you on the next one. Peace.